Good evening.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening, Steve.
Oh, Steve, can't hear
You hear me?
you. No, yeah, we can now.
Yeah, that's better, mate.
Computer name. Pure.
Computer says no, Steve. Is that what it is?
Right?
I can hear myself again.
Yeah, you're talking to yourself.
Got a big delay here, I think.
It's like going, hello.
Oh, I don't know which ones to buy. I don't know which ones to buy.
Wait a minute. So Jay's paying attention. Just so you know, Jay's looking at signature frags, online things. I've got 100% of Jay's attention as always.
So there's like an update every 4 months or 3 months, like every quarter. There was the last time it updated was New Year's Day.
Yeah.
And then obviously today, and it's just gone live at 8 o'clock. So Christian's like killing me here. I'm trying to do
Why would you make that live at 8 o'clock, knowing that we do the live stream then?
He wants free publicity, and he's got it because he knows Jay is going to be. He's arranged it with Jay in advance.
Oh.
So
that might be a clever move then, wouldn't it?
Yeah, if you look at Jay, he just looks totally
right, here we go.
vexed
Check
and
out.
stressed.
Check out.
What are you buying, Jay? Jay, what are you
buying?
Yeah.
Buying a Gonny. I want a Gonny, and
he's done it.
Yeah, I'm going to check out here. Wait up.
Oh.
We have to be. I've logged in, so you can get a speedy transaction. So I'm just going to PayPal now. Come on.
So Steve's left us on a funny view, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's only gone and done it.
A torch, and I missed it because I didn't press pay quick enough.
So you've missed out on a torch, and now you're going for a gun.
No, I tried to get a torch last time. Review your order. I agree. Place order.
Right. So have you placed the order then? Let's get a running commentary on you at the moment, Jay.
It's wait up.
No pressure.
Wait up.
Can you talk and walk at the same time?
Oh no, it's reset the website.
Jay,
it's like the blooming next sale. This is, you know.
Jay, can you move? Jay, can you move to the right a bit so we can see you in your pressurized environment?
Other right.
Yeah, that's it. The other right.
It's not letting me place order. Come on. I've done my PayPal bit. Place order. Watch this now. I'll end up missing out. Oh, wait up. I know what's happening. I need to tell it where I want it delivering. I don't want it delivering.
So what you want to do, Jay, is send it to Scotland for me, mate. That's where you want to put that one too.
Yeah. So people don't put your addresses in the comments. That's probably a bad idea because then it can go to that.
Going on here with my phone.
So I take it Steve can't get back in then, given the fact he just put in the comments that he's livid.
Yeah.
Check out. Right, let's not use PayPal. Let's use something else. Oh no, use PayPal. Check out Express. Oh, I can't believe this. I'm coral shopping live on the live stream here.
So at what point do you know it's yours? Is it when you put your card in, or is it in the basket for a period of time?
Confirmed order.
And when's that happen? When you pay?
Yeah, usually, yeah.
I just got a confirmed order for my Gonnies I've ordered from Signature Frags there.
Yeah,
so.
you winding me up. I bet that's where he's gone. Steve the bloody. I bet he.
Oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. He's gone in there thinking, I forgot about the new uploads. I'm going to get in there before Jay. So once he's bought something, look at the concentration on his face.
I know. I've never seen him focus like this in my life.
I know, but he never usually does. He usually flops.
Yeah. This is what happened last time.
Jay, go to the right. We can see your shoulder.
I'm getting stressed now.
Yeah.
It won't let me.
There's an absolute belter of a comment there from Tom Brook. Looks like Declan Donnelly's long lost twin.
Who is?
You.
Well, it's not Ross, is it?
I definitely don't look like him, mate.
I don't even know what that means. I'm just confused here.
Yeah.
What region? I'm in Derbyshire. God's sake.
So Chris Allen has said, leaving all. Sorry, I'm late. So Chris, you haven't missed anything. This is as smooth as always. I think Michael was saying earlier on that we're going to get a April Fool. I can assure you this is not a planned April Fool.
No. And we're not normally on this queue as well, which is throwing me.
For God's sake. It's not letting me check out. I just did this last time.
So those who joined late, Jay is trying to buy coals from Signature Frags. They update their site every 3 months or so, and he's got his eye on a going.
I've been waiting,
but he can't check it out. I'm surprised you haven't reserved it, and you're down there, Jay.
Well, it was busy today, so I couldn't go.
Oh, Jay, do you know what it'll be? Do you know why it's not working, mate? You need to go and put your suit on, and then it'll work.
You do not take the mick, you do. Right. Oh, for God's sake. Reagent. Derbyshire.
Right. Where is Steve? Where's he went?
I don't know.
He's all he's done.
They're not going to buy this Gonipora that I've not got probably now, because somebody will have this now.
So some of the comments, is it a
This is
brown?
what I get. I just get random rubbish like this, like massive logos up.
Right. Okay. So is it what colour is it? Someone said, is it a brown Goni?
Yes, very good.
Christian from Signature Freight said it's working for everyone else, Jay.
It's not for me, mate. I'm trying to buy something here.
He said, another one is, Jay, you have to have the money in the bank to buy them. Your bank manager's declined your
Oh, I'm going to end up giving up.
Michael
Christian,
said it's April Fool's Day. Go on.
Get that. Can I have that Goni that's 120 quid? It's green and purple. Can you reserve it?
That's the one I've just bought, mate.
You sod. It won't let me cash out. Look at
Cash
that.
out. It's not a betting website. You can't cash out.
This is what I've got here. Oh, that was it. Wait up. I've gone to PayPal.
Jay, Signature Frags have said send a screenshot and he'll take it out of stock.
Oh, I tell you, that's favouritism, isn't it? So if you want to put your orders in, let us know.
Pink balls.
Oh, God.
It's the most manly name of coral I've ever heard.
So Jay, some other comments here. Get the woman from the car park to pick it up for you, Jay. That's quite a good idea.
That's a good idea.
What was that?
Get the woman from the car park. You know your girlfriend that you meet up with when you put the suit on?
That was. God, she scared the hell out of me. I didn't even know she was there, and I was just filming. And she was on that night. She was on a night out in. Ripley. And God, she was stood right next to me. I was like, bloody hell, what are you doing, love? And she just stood like staring in. She was wondering what the hell I was doing, I think. Oh, it's out of stock. Uh-oh.
You knew she was there.
Someone else has bought it. No, he said he was going to take it.
That's you, otherwise my head's going to fall off here.
So Jay, maybe Christian's taking it off. He said, Lowell, send me a screenshot. I'll take it out of stock. But as you put the name of it, either that or someone's heard about it and got in there. So some of them live stream.
Oliver said he's just bought a cracking Goni.
Thank you so much, honestly. Thank you. I was playing up like mad there.
Wait a minute, Christian. My phone's not working either. I need one of them too.
I don't get my.
You've got to love a freebie, don't you?
For all my corals, you know. I pay for all my corals.
Well, I hope you haven't got it free of charge, Jay. You know what?
No. What will happen is when I go, I always pay. I always pay him for it because he works hard, and it's not an easy industry. And energy bills.
Paying for your corals, Jay.
What's that?
Good man. Paying for your corals.
No, but like we said, we had that conversation, didn't we, about supporting your local LFS, and Christian's been really good to me. He's looked after me, and especially tonight, he's saved my bacon with that coral.
And also, he's stopped selling SPS to you, hasn't he?
He doesn't let me have SPS because he knows I'll end up killing him.
You're on the banned list.
There you go. There's an LFS that cares, you see.
Yeah, when you said there was a lovely yellow, I think it was a smooth acro. I'm thinking, don't get it.
No.
Don't get it.
In love with that, Paul. But then your wisdom, and I do listen to you a lot. On all the way through this journey, and I've decided not to. One, it's SPS, and I won't keep it alive probably. Well, fair, it's not the map, but I will turn it a different colour. That's for sure.
Yeah, a nice shade of brown, wouldn't it?
A shade of brown.
Oh, he's back. Here he is.
Here he is.
Better. We're not all
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Hang on a minute. I'm not sure if that's Mogsy or Craig David that we're watching here.
You hear me? You hear me?
Yeah, where are you on a Friday?
Friday. I clean my fish out on Saturday.
You plugging my earphones on a Sunday?
Hey, tell me. You know what? Oh,
smash up the KH
sorry about that, guys.
on a Sunday.
Oh, don't mention the KH King. Oh my good God.
Oh, mate. You know what?
We're only 10 minutes in and the KH has been mentioned.
Yeah.
Hey. Yeah. You know what? Honestly, God, I really don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's these headphones. I don't know whether it's the computer. I'm at a loss. You know what I mean?
Sound
I really
like a
can't have a clue
robot,
what's going on.
You're like a Dalek, Steve.
Yeah, Dalek. Yeah, that's it. Oh no, there's another gun here as well.
Oh my good God! Oh, he's gone right back to.
Well, you have to be quick to buy the one you want, and then I'm still looking at the other ones.
Yeah, but you don't need to be. You just place your orders online via the live stream to Christian, and you've got it. I don't know why you're bothering. Why are you bothering?
To be fair, it's time well this live stream because I'd have been cursing my phone then.
Jay, I don't believe you would curse anything. You're such a calm, laid-back guy. You would never do that.
Actually, yeah.
I try to be.
He's probably the calmest guy I think I know, actually.
At work, you know, when you're working with teenagers, you've got to be.
You got to be, haven't you? You can't react to anything, can you?
You can't swear.
It's a great comment here, Steve. Your tank isn't looking too chipper behind you, a bit brown sand. I don't know if you heard it.
You'll have missed that one.
The chromis have destroyed the tank.
Here we go. Is he back? Is he?
That was one of the comments in our little message. He said, "I've been speaking to someone. I was like, oh, was it the Chroma Society for having the record size Chromas? It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Guinness Book of Records for the Chromas.
Oh, he's gone.
Oh, he's away again.
Oh, for goodness sake!
He was on mute.
Is he hosting
realised
this?
that.
I mean, yeah, allegedly.
Well.
Sorry, folks. This is our first live stream. We'll get round it.
Yeah, we're not experienced at all. So, Jay, you going after any comments before we move on from?
I'm just looking at all the corals. I've never heard of this coral. What's that? A dendro. That looks quite weird.
So Jay, just for 1 minute, there's a question for you. You are a YouTuber. You are a god to your students. Is that right? Or do they not know that you're a YouTuber?
No, they do not. I work with teenagers from the city. They do not know that I do this.
Can you imagine if your students caught onto your channel one day? All it takes is one of them to have a reef tank.
They would rip the hell out of me. And all my comments would be like, oh, here he is with his little fish.
They'd replay
I'd have a moderator on it.
You'd be like, ooh, coral friends.
Funny enough, that's what my kids say to me.
Yeah.
Well, a couple of them would get it, but most of them would just absolutely rip the hell out of me.
Yeah, especially when they see you with your fan drops in the water and auto feed.
Oh yeah, all the new ones have arrived as well.
Oh, is it?
Well, I've clicked on SBS here. That must have been a mistake.
Oh, no, that is a mistake.
Don't do it, Jay. Just leave it.
So, Jay, what fan have you gone for?
I just replaced those other ones.
What, the all for pond or whatever it is?
I originally had the D&Ds that went in, and then I
went in. When he said he went in, that means he went into the tank, didn't it? It got wet.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why I keep getting them wet through.
It's a little known phenomenon, Jay, called gravity.
Yeah, and you take the lid off. If you leave the lid on, they don't go in, do they?
I think what it was, so because they sit on the back, when I'm getting the skimmer out and the filter floss and things like naturally you get salt water dripping on the back of them. So they kind of just went with, because salt water is so corrosive and it's just anything, like electrical, it'll just corrode it eventually. So then I bought the replacement ones, and when I did my water change last week, just before the live stream, rushing to get here on time, like I always am, then they dropped in. So I've had to buy some new ones, but I've just got some cheap replacements.
So wait a minute, you've dropped 2 sets of fans in the tank now.
Yeah.
So I got one wet through just by dripping water on it, and then the other one got drenched. But that's the annoying thing, right? I put the new ones on in October.
Yeah.
And they haven't been on, but they've been on the tank. And then the minute that first bit of warmth that we had, I don't know if you had it up in Scotland, I had a first bit of warmth, and I was like, oh, the fans are going to kick in here. And I blooming broke them, didn't I? Now I've got some new ones, and guess what? It's snowing.
So just keep them in the cupboard, mate. Don't put them on the tank yet.
Yeah, don't put it on yet.
So they're here, look.
Or Jay, when you do a water change, why don't you take the fan off before you take the lid off?
Because that's very sensible.
Okay.
But in my mind,
did I overthink that? I must have overthinked it.
There's a great comment here from Michael Butler who says, "I don't know why they rip you, Jay. I can't figure it out."
I honestly think if there's a bullying button on YouTube, I'd been pressing it. I would have been pressing it. But I've got some new ones now. These are the Welsh ones, I think. I think these are Welsh. Look at the name of them.
Oh boy,
You might wheel. They're Welsh fans, I think. Anyway, they're here. These are the same as what I got last time. But they've got a UK plug on these ones.
I was about to say, have you got a proper plug? The last two lots, they didn't, did they?
Plug.
Remember that the last ones were European, I think, or American. I can't remember. Might have been American. Yeah, so these arrived. I think I paid about £15. But I don't like to buy new fans all the time, but I like to have them before the warm weather arrives because I know they can sell out. They sell out, don't they? So top tip of the day.
Oh, here we go. Top tip.
If you haven't bought your fan for the summer months, buy them now because you're going to need them.
I'm going to trump that tip, mate, and I'm going to go an even better tip with you. Don't put your fans in water.
That is absolutely genius.
I don't know what you think of this, Ross.
Tip.
There you go. Exactly the same as D&D for half the price. But this is my third set of fans in 15 months.
Jesus. So there's a comment here in the chat from Poetry, which obviously we can't put on the screen because Steve's meant to be hosting, but it says, good news from Waterbox this week. They've started selling mesh lids, so we'll be ordering a Peninsula 25 mini lid for $36.99. Now, I've seen this. They are doing mesh lids now, and personally, I think they look terrible. They've got they've done it like the DD one, but they've made it slightly smaller and then put little tabs coming off them, and I think they look horrible. I don't know why they've done it that way. They do not. So
when you say tabs, you mean tabs at the end, and they're the ones that rest on the.
No, so it's almost like little square tabs that go at each different bit along it. They've got little square tabs.
Right.
Let me see if I can find a photo of it to show you. I think they've dropped the ball on this one. You know, the DD one looks really good.
Yeah, because I've got two of the DD ones, and I've got to say I think they're really good. I looked at them really before you could get custom, and I had a choice of the Red Sea one and the DD, and I thought the DD one looked better and looked a bit more sturdy. And I've got to say I've got two of them. And I'm pretty happy with them. Got to say, it's a bit of a pain when you got to put it together on a 5-foot tank. The smaller tank, it's a lot easier. But I've got to say, I thought a good value for money. And a number of times I hear the fish splash and then they hit the net and then they're back in the water again. It's saved, I don't know how many fish.
So I don't know if you'll see that there, but see what I mean? They've got like the square tabs to hold them on the edge, which I think looks actually terrible. I don't know why they've done that. They could have just made it the same as the DD one and had it like the full width.
Yeah,
but I don't like that at all.
Red Sea's not too dissimilar. They've got it in the corner with the logo, haven't they? The logo sticks out. Yeah.
Yeah, the LAD lad lids look really good, don't they? Thing is, the lid actually saved my Radiant once. That lid saved my Radiant Light once. Do you remember?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my god, I'm so glad I had the lid on. Otherwise.
What one you got, Jay? What type of lid you got? You got the DD one?
Yeah, I've got the DD one. It's I love it. It just looks so good for the money. You make it yourself. It's a bit. If you haven't got DIY skills, I wouldn't bother because you do have to cut metal and you have to run this little sealant thing round, and it's not the easiest thing to do if you haven't got a bit of basic DIY skills. I know what everyone's thinking. They're thinking if he can build it, I can build it. There's no worries there.
No, they're all just wondering how long it took you to build it. That's the question.
I took my time with it. There's a video on my YouTube channel if you want to watch it. If you've got nothing else to do.
So did you buy the cutout? Because you can get different size cutouts, can't you, for your lights? Or did you cut the bits yourself?
I did it all myself. I cut it all myself.
Oh, did you? Because on the tank now, I bought the cutouts. It's far easy. You just save yourself a few cuts, and it goes round. And then you got a little bit of a gap at the back, and then I overhung the netting, so the fish can't go through the gap. So my netting goes right to the back, and it works really, really well. Well, as touch wood so far, because you do end up with a gap otherwise. I mean, so he's putting the fan.
Look at it live. I missed that one.
Getting ready for summer, yeah. Getting ready for summer.
Yeah, a bit.
Jay,
I like it with the fans on. I don't like the big gap at the top without the fans.
So Jay, why don't you have a spare?
What fan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you know what's going to happen, don't you?
I like most people have different spares, but I've never known like spare return pump, spare heater. I don't know anyone who's got spare fans, really.
Yeah, but who's had 3 fans in 15 months without them
I
breaking?
was going to say that. I don't know anybody who's dropped 2 fans in the tank either, so that's...
That is true. I'm just doing a bit of cable management for a second.
Cable management on the live stream. What more could you want on a Friday night?
Yeah.
This is good, mate.
We know how to live, don't we, Ross? We know.
I know. It's action-packed, isn't it? Look at the speed of which he's doing that.
Live stream gold here.
It is.
Sorry, I need to get around the back of the tank here.
We've had an unboxing, not only an unboxing, we've had a fitting as well.
He's repping the t-shirt though, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
Loving it, mate. Loving it.
I do like this t-shirt, Ross.
It is. It's a good one, mate. I'll give you that.
I don't wear it very often, but
you should wear it to school, mate.
no chance. No chance.
Oh, there's a good question there.
So that's the old lead. I've had 2 of those.
Do you hear me now? Do you hear me?
You're still a bit crackly, Steve.
That's going to have to be it. I don't know what's going on. I don't know.
Have you got any Apple headphones or anything like that, or old white ones? Because they usually work pretty well.
I don't really know.
Ones that come with your phone usually.
That's the ones I've got. Been using these for years, and they're pretty good. I've used more expensive ones, and they're not as good as these.
Yeah, I'll have a look. I'll have a quick look now. I had some cheap ones. You know what you got from? I don't know, bloody Aldi or something. Nothing against Aldi. I love Aldi, yeah, but I think it's some cheap ones, and I don't know where they are. I'll have to try and. I'm sure in the cupboard. I'll quickly go and ask. But have a look. But yeah, there's a few things there. Go back onto that. You guys want to see your fish, cuddles, and cleanup crew? Well, I know I did do originally, literally for a very short time. I think it's a month or so, and then I thought to myself, no, this is just not. I mean, it's the right thing to do, but space, time, keeping it running all the time. It was just no. And for the amount of fish that I was putting in my tank anyway, it wasn't enough. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I dare say if you got a few tanks, and you're adding fish in, fairly decent sized tanks and stuff like that. But other than that, like, what you're gonna do once you've quarantined your fish for it's 6 weeks, 8 weeks? What you're gonna do with the tank then? Unless you're gonna keep buying fish over and over and over again. But it depends on the size of your tank. So I just thought it just wasn't worth it for me to keep doing it. So I stopped it and I never did it then. But it's definitely you should definitely do it. But as for cuddles and cleanup crew, never. You're not quarantine cleanup crew anyway because you'll kill them. So you're not supposed to. You can't put anything. With cleanup crew, I don't believe carry anything anyway. You know what I mean? So. Not 100% sure, but I don't think you do. Plus, if you use copper dosing it, for instance, copper will kill cleanup crew anyway. So, and that's for corals. No, I never quarantine corals in life. So
Steve,
I don't know.
Steve, I think you can bring in pests and nasties on cleanup crew, but you're right in terms of snails. You can't put them through copper treatment. I don't know if there is a treatment you can put them through. I suppose the only way you would do it, and I don't do this by the way, you put them in a separate tank and you observe them to see is anything coming on them. But the problem is you can see certain things if they was to bring in, I don't know, Actasia or vermitid snails or something on the snail, you would see that. But if they brought in something else, then I'm not too sure how you could deal with that.
What about like a freshwater dip? You reckon a freshwater dip would be obviously like at a temperature, or a hypersalinity, so low salinity, say maybe. What do you reckon? Because I know that some fish stores, I know that my LFS he runs it lower. It's salinity in his tanks. So I wonder if you can put it at a hypersalinity, so drop it to say 1.018 or 1.017 or something. Maybe that might kill pests. I'm not 100% sure, but like I said, I've never really with cleanup crew. I just tend to look at them, see it, and then acclimate them, drip acclimate them, 40 minutes, 35 minutes, 40 minutes, and then shove them in the tank. And we tend to do okay, mate. You know what I mean? But I get your point. If there's obviously some growth, like you said, vermitis snails or, you know, something on the shell, that, you know, like you said, that's your then just getting rid of that first or scrape it off before you put it in your tank. But yeah, I know what you mean.
There's a comment there about they can carry ick and pest. They need to go in a fishless tank with no meds for 90 days. It makes sense whether that captures everything. I mean, as for fish, I mean, I don't buy many fish, but then I only buy my fish from AAC, and they treat them, but it doesn't. Paul admit it doesn't cover everything. There's certain things that you get, copper and other stuff doesn't cover. So basically, he looks after them for me, make sure they're feeding well, and then I pick them up. So I think that's probably as much as I do, but I trust them to look after the fish and make sure they're okay. But there's a risk. There's a risk anytime you put something in the tank, isn't it? And pests can come in on corals. I mean, a number of people that got Aptasia, and I bet you that comes in on corals that's coming from a fellow reefer.
Yeah.
What about
I mean,
you, Ross?
for me, so I get everything from Ness's Lair, which have a really, really good and strict quarantine procedure. Probably one of the best that I've seen, to be fair. So everything that comes from them is really good. But I have actually set up, I'm just going to try and find it. I say set up, it's sitting in the cupboard just now for when I need to use it. Because I'm still going to quarantine everything myself just to double check. But what I've done, if I can just find this on my Amazon, I bought a little, it's kind of like a little plastic tub as such.
Yeah.
You know, the little plastic aquarium type things that you get. Let me just try and find this here. And I just keep that in the cupboard so then I can pull it out. Here it's here. Plastic container. So this is it. So it's 11 litres, this one.
Yeah.
It's just one of these little...
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I see. Yeah.
I can't get it focused just now.
What is it, Ross?
It's a tank.
That's a tank.
It's a quarantine tank.
Yeah.
So imagine that's the lid.
Oh,
There we go. It's got a bit dark. Yeah. He's just showing us a lid.
Yeah. So basically, I bought that from Amazon for £15. And then I've also got a tiny little filter and a little heater that I put in there and use that as a kind of quarantine hospital tank and so on. So you don't need to have it set up all the time. You can keep it in a cupboard and just pull it out when you need it. It's only 11 litres, so if you're chucking in 10 litres of salt water, it's easy enough to do. And yeah, it's quite a good way to do it, I think. So if you do want to quarantine, then you know it's pretty easy, to be honest, to actually put them in.
Oh my gosh,
I think that's a good. What I mean, you haven't bought many fish, Jay. Did you quarantine yours, or did you make sure you got them from
No, so all my fish are from Cellar Marine in Stoke. Lee there is a really good guy, and I've never had a problem with the fish from there, so that's where I bought my fish from. I bought the fish pretty early on, so I've got my 4 in there. I did buy one from Ness's Lair, which was amazing. As you know, it's my Scooter Blenny. It was my favourite fish. He quarantined it, and he got it eating pellets. It was super healthy. It was healthy in my tank. It was, you know, it was a beautiful fish and in such good health. But obviously, then I had the bullying incident when I wasn't at home, and that's what happened. But yeah, his fish as well, Ness's Lair, super healthy fish. And that was a really difficult fish, and it was feeding well and it was healthy. So yeah.
That's the other thing as well. I mean, Ness's Lair, there'll be other shops do it as well. I'd imagine AAC will do it as well, Paul. But they get the fish feeding on frozen or pellets or so on before they even put them out for sale. So, you know, you see a lot of places like the bigger kind of chain stores that get fish in and they do a day's quarantine and then put them out for sale. There's no way you're treating anything in a day. You need weeks and weeks of treatment, and then to get them feeding on frozen or pellet or so on can take a long time as well. So that's one thing I'll say. If you are buying fish and you're going to the store, ask to see them feeding. That's something that you should really always do.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, I think also find out what kind of foods they eat. And if you've got things like pipefish or mandarins, then I wouldn't buy one of those if they weren't feeding on frozen, because to try and keep them to survive without frozen food, I'm not saying it's not possible, it's far more difficult. So the fact they're feeding on frozen and the LFS taking the care to do that, I think makes a big difference and really improves the chances of survival. And sometimes amphias are like that as well, where they're being fed quite a bit. But with amphias, it's a bit more challenging. You have to feed them multiple times a day. until they're used to it. So the 2 I've got in there, you can't really see the tank. They feed once a day, but when I first got them, they were feeding 4 or 5 times a day, and you wean them off of it. But yeah, and I've never really considered. And to do proper quarantine, you probably do need to quarantine your cleanup crew and your corals and your fish. You just do one, they can come in on something else. So it kind of defeats the object. And unless you're looking for specific diseases that only fish have and they bring in on them. But I don't know enough about that because I've never quarantined before. And I must admit, I probably wouldn't. If I had a really big tank and some really expensive fish, I'd probably set it up and do it myself. But when you've got a decent LFS you trust, it's certainly on me. If something happens, that's not down to the shop I buy it on. That's down to me because I know that probably quarantine's the best way and not guaranteed, but improves it. So you do take a chance, just like you take a chance anytime you put something in the tank, as we discussed before.
That's when you get to a point where you've not had problems buying from those people, you just keep going back to them, don't you? Really?
Yeah.
That's
absolutely. Anyway. Yeah, there's only one place I'd go for fish. That's not to say elsewhere is not good enough, just that you trust, and so therefore they got such a great range. Why would I go anywhere else? There's no.
Yeah, you get used
point.
to your own place and stick to that, and you can't really go wrong then because you know that everything's come from the same place, so there is no issue.
Yeah, and they look after you as well, don't they? Then as well, you can build up a relationship, and you get looked after properly then,
and it's also invaluable help because you get to know the LFS, they get to know your tank and what you've got and so on, and then they can advise you properly rather than just going to somewhere that's never seen your tank or know anything about you and then say, oh, you can get this, get that, which doesn't really work. They need to know properly what you're like, what your tank's like and so on before they can offer advice.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I'm just still looking at the corals because I
thought you was. Have you bought anything else? Or you just browsing
I can't believe that torch coral's still there. And I wish.
What one's that? Is that the one? Is that the picture that I posted? Was it the orange or banana one?
Yeah, it's the burnt orange one. It looks amazing, but I've already got 4. And when they're out, they're taking up the whole tank. I need a new tank before I buy more torches.
Yeah, they do. So how much is that one? The burnt orange.
200, which for a torch is, and it's a double head.
That's all right, actually.
That's pretty good. 200 quid. So it's 100 quid a head. That's not bad for an unusual coral.
It's a bargain. That's why I'm tempted to buy it, but I've got no room for it.
Well, it's like Ross. You've got loads of torches all around the top of the tank there, haven't you? Just to you haven't really got the room.
So
I suppose that's for the new
I've actually
tank,
got a couple sitting on the frag rack on the back just now, ready to go on that arch, but I'm just letting them. Well, they've been settled for a couple of weeks now. I actually keep meaning to use these little frag plugs that I got from Aquaprint Mind, the ones that you can remove them. I keep meaning to put them in, and I haven't done it yet, to be honest. So I've been away working this week, so I haven't had a chance to really do anything with the tank. So I will get around to it at some point and get them mounted, but they've come out really well, actually. So I think that's me now got 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 torches in that little bit on the top, a frog spawn and a hammer. So quite a lot of euphilia on that little top arch in my tank, but it's looking pretty good now, to be honest. And again, my levels are still up. So, I mean, my phosphate's still up at 0.7, my nitrate's at 40, and everything's doing really well. That's probably been the best part of 2 months now, and still no issues. So I'm going to keep running with it, and we'll see how we get on. It might be a terrible idea, but I can only try it.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a question in there, Ross, about what Hanna checkers do you have?
I'll go to the shelf of wonders up here then, mate, will I?
Good question.
So Hanna checkers that I use is the nitrate one here. Just let me see if I can get a number for that one.
The high range. That one.
Yeah, that's the high range nitrate one. So I use the high range nitrate.
So sorry, that's not to be confused with the one that Jay uses, and it takes 17 minutes to do a check. That's
don't get the ultra low range.
So that the high range one takes 7 minutes, if I remember right, to do the test.
Pretty good. That's comparable with others, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and then I use the phosphate ULR one, which is the HI774.
Awesome, that one.
So that's the 774 one that I use. It's really good, and I think it takes 3 minutes. So by the time, what I usually do is set them all off one after another. So by the time I've done this one, set that off, then I start doing this one. They usually all finish around at the same time. And then the only other Hanna checker I use is the 772, which is the alkalinity one. So that's the 3 checkers that I use: the alkalinity, the phosphate, and the nitrate one, and that's it.
And Jay, you use Hanna's as well, don't you?
Yeah, I think I've got the same ones. I have got the calcium one, but I never use it because it's rubbish. It's the only one I would say is rubbish. And I use the Hanna. I use the Hanna salinity pen. The normal salinity pen. Yeah, that's it then. Yeah, that's it. Just the salinity pen on top of what Ross has said.
So there's a comment there from Stu's Reef who said he's gone off the Hanna alk checker because the reagent degrades really quickly. I've read loads and loads of people saying that recently, that the reagent's degrading and giving them false readings. It's not last. Once you open it, the reagent seems to degrade pretty quickly. So there's more and more people saying that now. Whether I've had that or not, I don't know. But unless I compare it against anything, I'm not going to know. But I have heard more and more people saying that. So I don't know if anybody else has had that experience or not.
I don't know. How would you know?
No.
You'd need to compare it against something, mate, to double check, really, wouldn't you?
Mm.
Yeah.
Just double check against something else.
Yeah. Ooh.
Still got an echo on yours, Steve.
Yeah, we've got an echo, Steve, haven't we?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'm getting full. I'm not even going to swear. I'm going to swear then. I don't know what it is, mate. I've got the hammer at the side, man. I'm going to smash this computer up soon, mate. It's going to be a matter of time. I've checked on the settings, directly on the settings of the computer to see if there's anything on that. And it's all perfect. So it must be something wrong with the microphone in this computer. It's got to be. It's the only thing I can think of.
See if you go to on StreamYard down the bottom where there's the settings bit.
Yeah, they have done. Yeah.
And then change your microphone to like. If you go to audio and then select your microphone and choose a different microphone and try that one.
Right. So let me just see now. So obviously I'm carrying on talking here. So we'll see if changes. How about
that's much better, mate. Much better.
Is that better?
Yeah, we've still got a bit of an echo, mate, but we can hear you now.
Can we deal with this?
So you sound a hell of a lot better, mate. Much better. I'm just not sure why we've got an echo.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I can hear an echo from you guys when you're talking to me through my headphones. Do you know what I mean? So I'm thinking, is it me? But then I've checked everything on my computer and it seems good. And because you know, on the StreamYard, you can press that test me, can't you? You know, it says test, and it goes, "Welcome to StreamYard." That's song music, yeah. And it's perfect. I can hear everything perfect. You know, so it can't be the microphone, as in like, because I've got a £300 pair of Bose headphones, a £300 of AirPods, and I've got £1,000 of AirPods, air things on it, so it can't be the microphone. Sure to God, that. So is it the computer? I don't know what it is. I don't. It can't be the computer because I'm talking through my headphones, aren't I? Do you know what I mean?
No, I think it's the. See if you turn your volume down. Your computer, Steve.
Right. So
turn the volume down to zero.
I'll turn it down to zero.
Yeah, because it should come out of there.
So see if that's any better now.
Right. How about that?
I don't know if it'll be an echo.
Can you
hear me?
There's still a bit of an echo.
Yeah, it's still echo.
Just a slight one. Yeah.
Is your laptop on mute?
You know, I'm just going to keep trying different things while we're carrying on through this thing. Obviously, I'm going to scroll down. But if this is the case, I just, it's obviously got to do something with my computer. You know what I mean? It's not fair on the viewers. You know what I'm saying? So I'd say you just continue, you know, next time and stuff like that, because I need to figure this out. I'm going to send this. This is not even 6 month old. This computer. I'm going to send it back.
Steve, it's not it's not echoing when you speak, but it echoes when we speak. Go on mute.
It's not echoing.
Do a favour, mate, and mute your microphone just now for us.
Mute my microphone.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. So if we talk now, there should be no echo.
No, there's no echo.
So it's definitely Steve then.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So if you go off a mute when you speak, you speak, we won't speak, and then you go on mute when you're not speaking, and then that'll just be disastrous. But it might work.
Yeah.
So what I was going to say, I know everyone's up for Hanna, but when it comes to phosphate, I've been using this one for years, the ELOS phosphate high range.
Yeah.
So that one I find really good. So it goes from a range of 0 right up to 1. So whether you're low, medium, or high, and I've had it for so long, the card's just totally demolished. But I find it really, really good. And you can get spare reagent as well for 18 quid. So it's a lot cheaper once you've actually
How
been
many
a full
tests is
kit.
that, Paul?
I think it's 75. I think 75.
£18 for 75 tests. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I think it's 40 quid to buy the kit, but then it's 18 quid for 75 after that.
Where the hell's the dog coming from now?
It's for me in the kitchen.
That's good. I was going to say that's got to be Paul this time.
Yeah.
Hanna's a pound a test, isn't it? I think it's quite expensive.
So this one works out really well. That's why I wouldn't get a Hanna when I've gone across 2 or 3 tanks. I know in the scheme of things you could say it's quite small, because I know we've discussed that before, but I'd rather. I rely on this one and it works really well. So I've been using it for years.
How's that sound?
So if I speak,
That's awesome,
mate, that's it sorted.
Is that better?
Can you come on with those settings from the start next time, whatever settings they are?
Go and get a bit of paper, Steve, and write them down.
You must forget them every week, because you always get it going like halfway through.
You know what? It's an absolute nightmare, mate. You know, you all know me. You all know me with technology. You know, with drones, I'm perfect with drones and all that technology. Yeah, but drones and all that. Yeah, when it comes to computers and all this, mate, you know what? It's like. You know what it is? It's like when you're just starting into the reefing hobby and you don't have an absolute clue about anything. Yeah, you're like, what rock do I put in? What do it? That's what I'm like with computers, mate. It's just I'm just useless with it. So, but you know what? I'm going to write it down, like you said, exactly what settings I'm
write it
in.
down now.
In fact, I tell you what, I'm going to take a snapshot of it now, so I know exactly like what I'm going to do.
Yeah,
it's not too bad because we're 45 minutes in and you've sorted your sound, and Jay will be due to drop out now because he only gets 45 minutes. Then it cracks in.
No, Ross, I'm on my wife's laptop tonight. So
you're on good behaviour.
A good one tonight, mate.
I know, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Poetry Wits.
Hey.
Perfect. Hey,
Well,
appreciate it.
It's not the same without you, Insta. We need you on, so I'm glad you.
Exactly, mate. You know what? I want to be on. Trust me, mate. Trust me. Right. Yes,
Look, everyone's delighted that your sound's working. It's good. It's good to have
I know. Hey, I appreciate it, mate. Appreciate it. So, over this 42 minutes, what have I missed? Should we recap?
Right,
so in summary, we've had a setup of the fan, his third lot of fans. So that's Jay.
Yeah.
Jay bought a new fan. Yeah, please don't drop that in it, mate. Please don't drop that one in. We'll all have to do a GoFundMe page to get you a new fan, mate.
Go Jay.
See if the last
somebody will buy him a new fan, surely.
Absolutely. There's nothing like a free fan.
Only
or some
fans.
freebies,
That's what it is now.
Only
Can
fans.
it be a freebie, mate?
Jay
fans.
only needs fans because I keep losing them. Yes, and I've also been shopping, Steve, so I'm glad all your technology went wrong, because I've been shopping. I didn't want you to buy the corals because we have the same taste in corals. So me and Steve can't really talk too much about corals because we end up trying to buy the same ones. So,
yeah, but how's your Pikachu doing, Jay?
Yeah.
Well, we know what happened there, don't we? I wasn't allowed to buy it, basically.
I know.
So I'm not allowed. My signature frags, my LFS, basically the corals, didn't want me to kill it. Doesn't want me to kill the livestock, so I haven't got a Pikachu. Even though I'd love a Pikachu, one day when I've got a big tank, and I'm a bit more experienced, you've got to have goals, to aim for. That's a long-term goal for me. I will get a Pikachu growing nicely in a large tank.
Yeah.
Steve, there's a question there about drones.
Yeah, I have a DJI Air 2S, mate. I have the same. I've got my, I've done my A2 COFC pilot's license as well. So it means that you obviously, well, you know what it means. You can fly it in built-up areas and stuff like that. And yeah, you can make money out of it. So yeah, I've made a few quid out of it. So yeah, it's really good. But I've been flying drones for, God, well over 5 years, 6 years now. So I used to do remote, the petrol cars, nitrous oxide and all that petrol cars, and used to build them up and stuff like that. I used to, in my past hobbies. But that's an expensive hobby. I mean, nothing like Ross's car when he was driving the original cars and stuff. But it's still an expensive hobby for sure. You know what I mean? And you make one mistake and you crash those cars, they go into a million bits, and then you got to rebuild them again. So, but yeah, I like this sort of stuff, drone flying, and it's going to be the future. Eventually, it will be the future for sure. You know what I mean?
Dominic Kraken does the remote control cars as well, Steve.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does, mate. Yeah, he posted a few up, didn't he? A few pictures up, so yeah, he's well into it, really into it.
Oh yeah.
So, but it's good fun. It's good fun. Gets you away, like from, how can I put it, from work and stuff like that. I like just take my drone and fly it up on the hills and take some really good photos. And I just love it, mate. It gets me away, keeps me relaxed.
That laptop was nearly flying though, Steve. Then,
mate, you know what? It will
laptop earlier.
It will probably, if I threw it, mate, it'd probably fly further than my drone. So yeah, you're probably right, mate.
Oh dear.
Yeah. But no,
like you say, you got to have things to take your mind off, and that's why most people are in this hobby, aren't they? Because it just takes your mind away.
Absolutely.
You don't have to think about work and other stresses. Because
this is
serene. It just looks calm and serene when you look at it, doesn't it?
This will probably happen, John, eventually. Yeah, you'll probably get your fish delivered by drone all the time. Yeah, it won't be. I don't think that'll be far too off to be truthful. You know what I mean? Believe it or not. Yeah, 5-10 years, I reckon that could be happening. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think it will be. Well, Amazon were thinking of doing it, weren't they? Delivering it, drone delivery service and stuff like that. So they were thinking of it like in 2024, 2025. So. You know what I mean?
I think they've been trialing it's like the little robotic remote control car type things in America. You've seen them on the street and so on, delivering folks parcels to them.
Yeah, they have.
They've been trialing them already.
Yeah, they have. You're right. So yeah, but like you said, exactly like you said, Jay. At the end of the day, it takes your minds off things, something other than work and home life and even tanks, marine tanks. Sometimes they stress you out, don't they? You know what I mean? Like if something goes wrong, you're like, "What the hell? What the?" But so if you've only got your marine tank, what do? You know what I mean? You're like,
I think you need something to get you away from the house, away from everything, just outside, and get you away. Like I do my fishing, and that gets me away from everything. You just get peace and quiet, and you need that little escape sometimes just to recharge and get away.
Yeah, for sure, mate. For sure.
But it's perfect where you live, Ross, isn't it? In fact, don't have to go far to get away, and you're in the middle of nowhere. You got the locks and everything else. So you got stunning countryside on your doorstep.
It's really nice. In fact, you don't sometimes appreciate it being on your doorstep as well. That's the other thing. You take it for granted.
Everybody's really happy that Steve can work his computer now.
Oh, Queen City Reef's joined us from across the pond.
Yeah, good
greetings.
Good afternoon.
Good evening.
Good morning.
Good evening. Yeah, afternoon. Afternoon over there. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, for sure. He's also put it's supposed to not cause you stress, but that is only when everything is going right. Exactly, mate. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. True. Very true. See, this is what a lot of people do. They say everything good, what goes on good in your tank, but when things go bad, sometimes they escalate and they go really, really bad, don't they? In a marine tank, and like I said, it's you've got to be honest and just come out and say, it doesn't all run smoothly in this hobby for sure. You know what I mean? We always get even something breaks down or you find something or something, all of a sudden you see this mysterious growth and you're like, what the hell is that? In your tank, like I mean, I don't have Actasia, and then all of a sudden I looked and there was an Actasia. It was the size of my torch coral. You know what I mean? It was that big at the back of it, and I'm like, "What in it?" But it was weird, mate. And yet I'm like, "Where the hell is that going?" But I've not got any tiny ones in the tank. You know what I mean? So it's like it's behaving itself, and I thought, do I put some Aptasia X on it and blast it away? But then it can release all spores, guy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, just keep it sweet. Let's keep it sweet, keep it nice, and it should be okay. But
why don't you Steve, get some putty? So what I do with the bigger ones, if I get one,
it's
get
huge,
some
mate.
putty, and then just put some glue on the putty and just place it over and spread it around. As long as you get everything in there, then it will usually kill it.
Oh, right.
So I've done that before with larger ones, and I put a little bit of glue on it, and then after a while you don't even notice you've got a bit of putty. Now, if you put it on the back wall, you'd probably notice it. So after a while, you would just take it off. But if it's on a bit of rock or that,
it's on the rock. That's what I mean.
Go large on the putty, and it works.
Oh, brilliant.
Sometimes they'll go back into the rock and they'll come out another place in the rock, and you're playing whack-a-mole with it. But if it's in a place where you can easily get to it, then I'd recommend putty with glue, and it will get rid of it. And it doesn't have a chance to get rid of the spores because you just go bang straight on it. Just default. So that's what I've done in the past.
It's possible, mate. I'll probably look into that, because I always thought if you it's like if you're stressing it, like if you go near it, it releases it before you manage to do anything, to it. So I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on it whether it does. So that's why
I've found it's been all right with that. I think what happens with Aptasia X is because you put the needle in, if you don't get it right down the mouth, then it stresses it, it closes up, and then it releases it. I haven't found with the putty that it releases spores. I only ever do it on the really larger apps, which Touchwood I haven't got at the moment, because I've got peppermint shrimps, so they take care of the smaller ones. But like you say, all of a sudden the larger one comes out of nowhere, and you go, "Where the hell did that? Where the hell did that come from?"
Yeah, I mean, good point, because I have got like 2 peppermint shrimp. I did have 3, but I've got 2, which I definitely see, and they come out in the evening. So I'm assuming they're taking care of little tiny ones, any little tiny ones that are floating about, maybe. But like I said, this huge one, and it was only because I switched the flow off, and I was like looking at the graveyard at the back, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to sort this graveyard out, this back of this, and I'm like, and I'm looking, and it was right near this rock on the bottom of it. And I was like, holy mo-, and it was, I swear to God, it's the size of a golf ball, mate, the head of it. I was like, oh my God, where's that come from? But because you don't see it in the back of your tank, do you? You know what I mean? So it was like, I've left it, I've not done anything with it yet, but I may have to do so, and I'll probably do your thing, what you're saying, get a good piece of putty and plaster it, and hopefully we won't see it again.
So what I found in the 900 in the garage where I've got peps, the actual display's got 0. And then I found that the sump had quite a few. So what I did with the sump, I just totally emptied the sump. I cleaned the sump out. I actually left it dry for 24 hours and put the heater into the display. So it just dried it totally out, and then filled it back up, blah, blah, blah. And touch wood, it's been fine. But it's funny how it was in the place where the peps were not. And touch wood, I haven't seen any Aptasia in that tank. And I look in the weir as well, because the weir's another place where they sometimes can congregate, because obviously peppermint shrimps don't get there. But if you got peps, then there's probably only 2 places they'll be, in the weir or in the sump. But it's worked out all right.
I might go and buy some peppermint shrimp tomorrow, actually. Yeah,
so I wouldn't have a tank without putting peps in, and also bumblebee snails at the beginning. Because bumblebee snails for vermitid snails. So I put those 2 things in all the tanks I have, and then a conch, not for anything other than a conch, turns over the sand. But for me, they're free musts, because then hopefully
I love a conch. I think
they're brilliant.
They're really, really good in a tank. You need to have one.
Conches are great, conches are great, but they move everything about all over the show. If you got little things, especially like when you're acclimating like a frag, and they always say put it on the sand bed, let it adjust to you. Like I guarantee you that conch make a beeline for it. I don't think it intends to, but it makes a beeline, knocks it over, and then you've got your hand in the tank, and you're forever like in out, try. And that's the only problem I have with them. I've got 3 conches in my tank. I mean, all right, it's a 350, so they've got a little bit of space. But you guarantee, I mean, I've not got much space at the front, They're always moving into everything. And that conch was the one that knocked my bubble, my bounce mushroom into the thing.
Right, yeah.
And I was like, holy, I was devastated, mate. But it is what it is. There's nothing you can do. It was my own mistake. I should have glued it down. But yeah, other than that, they are and they're great for doing the job. Like you said, they do the job perfect, don't they?
Plow the sand, don't they? They turn the sand over and just keep it
over. Yeah, so good.
Yeah, and they're great little characters as well, because they're completely different to anything else. The way the Hoover comes out and stuff like that, and they actually climb the glass as well. So you think, how the hell can you climb the glass with that big shell? So they're just, I think they're just completely different to anything else that you have.
Mine's actually climb over the rocks as well. They didn't used to at the start, but now they climb over the rocks and they clean all the little crevices in the rocks that you can't get to. And they're really good.
Yeah, I'd say they've got one of the best cleanup crew. The only thing they don't clean, so I've got some of these little spiniod worms. These little white worms.
Spiroid.
Yeah,
Spiroid.
White worms that come out when you're feeding.
Yeah.
And I was like, I hope they, just to keep the population like stable. I hope they eat those, but they don't, do they? Nothing. I can't find much that eats them.
That's it.
Obviously, they're all right they're healthy to have as long as the population doesn't explode. But,
So
I've started.
You know what? The question that's on the screen there, isn't it?
What's that?
Yeah, with the exception of
on the screen there.
Yeah. Any plans on upgrading to larger tanks? If so,
before you guys answer that one, I'll just fill in that my tank is being delivered on Tuesday.
Oh,
very good.
Nice. Oh, fair play.
Being delivered on Tuesday. So
that's quick. That's fairly quick then, really, Ross, wasn't it? Really? Yeah. As it because because he thought it was going to be longer. Let's be honest. He honestly
it was supposed to be mid-March. They told me mid-March, and it's now what? To be fair to them, to be fair to them, they did offer to deliver it today, but I was working today, so Tuesday was the first day that really anybody was here to accept it. So I'm not here on Tuesday. I'll be down in London, but Mrs. will be in to collect it on Tuesday, so they can deliver it on Tuesday and hopefully see how it is.
Fingers crossed, mate.
I'm just a bit nervous that this one comes with issues as well, and then
don't think that, mate.
They're only sending you the display, aren't they? They're not sending you the cabinet, are they?
So I haven't even asked that, mate. They just said they would send out a replacement. Now it's just the display that I've got issues with. The cabinet and the sump are fine. So I'd imagine it'll just be the display. If it's the full thing, then so be it. But I think it's just the display, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, exciting!
You know what? Can't wait, mate. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Can finally get things moving now, mate.
I know.
Forever. It was the 5th.
When did you win the comp?
5th of November, I actually ordered that tank.
Oh, it was November, yeah. Wow.
Yeah. 5th of November was when I ordered it, and it's now it's going to be delivered actually on the 5th of April.
Wow.
So to be fair, that's the replacement.
I bet when they said they'd deliver it today, they were going to say April Fools, mate. That's probably what they were going to say to you. You know, truthful talk. I mean, it's a good, I wouldn't have said that, But but you know what though? At least it's coming. At least you know you got a date, and it's definitely going to be here. So it's something to look forward to, isn't it? And like you said, get it all set up, mate. That's what you want to do. So can't wait. Can't wait to see it. It's going to be great.
Just need to wait and see.
Is there still delays on Waterbox, Ross? Do you know?
Sorry, mate, what was that?
Do you know if there's still delays on Waterbox deliveries?
So I'm not sure, but I know they're basically changing their full lineup to calling things different names and moving new tanks about. And I know they're not replacing some of the certain tanks. Like for some reason, the Peninsulas, they're not replacing any of them. So once they've run out, they run out, kind of thing, which I think is strange.
I would thought that's a really popular tank, isn't it? 'Cause it's a great entry tank, as you found as well.
Yeah. So they're still going to be doing this Peninsula, the 15 and the 25, but believe it or not, they're not going to be called a Peninsula anymore. So I don't quite know why they're changing that. So you're going to have the Cube 10, the Cube 15, the Cube 20, and the Cube 25, which I don't really understand why they've done that. But that's what they've done, to be fair. So I'll wait and see what happens when this one comes, if it's okay, and fingers crossed it will be okay, and I'll get everything finally set up. I've still got the whole dilemma of the Aquascape being in this tank. So I need to figure out something with that to get the Aquascape out of this tank and then get it back in the new one once it's there. So that's going to be an absolute nightmare. But
take as many photos as you can, mate. Take as many photos with as many angles as you can, and then you can have a rough guide there of where it's placed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So my plan is to take as many photos as I can, and then also still I'm going to wrap bits of masking tape around every bit to show what direction it sits in and try and line them all up. And it's going to be a nightmare. There's no way around about it. It is going to be a nightmare, but I just need to do it. So yeah.
Yeah, you'll be right, mate. And you know what? You'll find. I bet you'll find a better escape. I bet you any money on it. Yeah, you'll put it in. I guarantee you'll put it in, and a rock will slide down like that. You go, hey, up, it looks all right. That looks better like that. I swear to God, because that's what happened to me, mate. You go, yeah, I'm going to leave it like that. I'll change your mind because you won't get it exactly. You'll be like, yeah, it looks a lot better that way, and it does make it happens, but.
I honestly don't know how many escapes that I've built for this tank now, and I started doing a video on it, and I actually gave up and deleted the full video because it was pointless, because there was so many different attempts. Then there was me smashing it up with a hammer, then there was me smashing it on the floor, then there was
that would have been great to watch though.
It would have been great to watch unless you're a psychologist and I'd have been locked up for losing the plot so much.
Fair point.
Let's just say my anger came out on that one, mate. So
I can't believe
it would have been great, to be honest. But
Paul.
No,
so the dog's been playing. So she's outside of the tank, Parsons Russell. So she's not on her best behaviour at the moment. She's in the kitchen at the moment. That's why there's no noise.
Because of the issues you had with it last time, the Waterbox, you think they'd like have a really good look at it and check over and make sure it was before they send you?
Yeah.
I mean, if it was my business, I'd be like, okay, he's definitely going to look at this closely. I'm going to make sure I've checked it first. So hopefully,
you'd hope so.
It makes sense. We'll soon find out.
I mean, this one that I've got here's got a QC passed sticker on the glass, and there's absolutely no way that anybody looked at it, to be honest with you. No way, because a blind man could see the issues with that tank. So, it's fingers crossed it comes good, mate, but we'll wait and see. Sorry, I kind of hijacked that one, so I didn't really find out what you guys' upgrade plans were.
So, no. So I'm going to close that down, obviously, at some point. It's a slow-mo version. A few more cobbles have got, but I've still got low left.
This is about as slow as Jay doing a nitrate test live on live stream.
If only it was that quick. It's been about 6 months in a close down, and I'm still only about halfway through. So the other side of this wall here, we have an extension going across the back. So I may be looking about a peninsula that goes along there. So if I do, it's either a 5 foot or a 6 foot peninsula. But I'm not 100% sure. I must admit, I'm not overly enthused about getting another big tank. I think I said before that actually I'm enjoying the smaller tanks than I'm the larger tank. So if I did get a tank there, then probably at least one of the tanks would go in the garage. So I would have no more than 2 tanks. I think at the moment I've got 3. So I'll probably go back down to 2. But we'll see. That's no guarantee. We'll see what happens at the time. But I've been looking around at peninsulas, and the issue of the peninsula is how do you get enough flow from the weir so you got enough flow at the other end? Because I'd hate to have a peninsula 5 or 6 foot and you've got a power head at the other end and it spoils the view. So that's probably the biggest issue around you go 5 or 6 foot, because 6 foot could do.
Gyres, mate.
I could have gyres vertical.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's the way, mate.
I could do that. I had the SPS up the end that there's a high flow, and down the other end you can have things like A-cans, chalice, and that, where you haven't got as much flow. So
for sure.
That may be, it's doable in terms of size. It's just a case of don't want to tank that big. I'm not decided, but maybe I'd be really good. Yeah. I'd go custom as well, just for because most peninsulas you either get black or white.
Yeah.
Unless you go custom, and I wouldn't want black or white. I'd actually get the kitchen doors we've got there. I'd have them made so that actually then, because it goes between the kitchen, which is here. So the kitchen doors, I'd have them, because the place we get it from, they can make them. So the kitchen doors are there. It'd match the kitchen doors all the way around
that'd be nice.
Around the base. So that's what I would do. So I had quite a think about how I'd set it up. It's just a case of, is it 5 or is it 6 foot if we go for that? So we've got the room.
Yeah.
So we'll see, but that's quite a way off because I haven't got a build yet. So
I think a DFS store closure is faster than. Faster than I'm sure there's a
Well, I think
DFS
they've
DFS
got a sale on this week,
3
you know?
years.
are you throwing stones from your greenhouse again, Jay?
Yeah.
There's so many thrown at me. I thought I'd just throw a few back tonight.
That's all right. Cool it.
Right.
Oh,
Right then. What was I going to say then? Here's another question from, which is another good one. So, do any of you have a dream fish stroke coddle that you wish you could have, but can't justify the price? Yes.
So
Yes, we all do.
yeah, I've got one that I would love, but it's not due to price, and it's an Emperor Angel. I've always wanted an Emperor Angel, but I just don't have the tank to put it in. That's the reason. It's not really down to price. It's more Emperor Angel, and my second choice would be a puffer. That's my two that I would like, but again, not due to price, just due to the I don't have a fish only tank for it to go in.
What about coddle? So you can have a fish, yeah. You like a fish and a coddle. So what fish would you like? Like, so you told us, and then what coddle would you like? Like dream coddle. If money was no object, which one would you have?
No, that's
justify the price of it. It's justifying it, innit? But it's a difficult one, that, because justifying it, like, if you want it, you're gonna buy it, aren't you? So, and then you'll justify the price after it. So you're like, I shouldn't have done that, So it's an hard one for sure.
I mean, for me, definitely. I mean, I love Euphilia. That's the thing that I think is amazing. And some of the torches out there, I look at and I go, "That's amazing, stunning. He's a stunning torch." But I just can't justify the price of a lot of the torches, because for me, I mean, I can get a £20 torch and look at it and go, "That's stunning," and then I can look at another torch which is equally as nice looking, but they're wanting £300-400 for it, and I would never ever pay that for a coral. For me, I'll only pay what I'm willing to lose, and I'm not willing to lose £300-400 on a coral. So. I'm out when it comes to that, regardless of what kind it is. That's a no from me.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying.
For me, I've got my dream coral, which is rainbow chalice. As you know, I love chalices.
Yeah.
So if money was not object, I'd buy a big rainbow chalice that was 5 or 6 inches in diameter. But that's because that's because if I was being greedy. But you guys know that rainbow chalices, they're superb corals, and I'm lucky enough to have actually 3 or 4 of them. But I really
what
like
about
them.
fish? What about fish?
So this isn't about price. It's Achilles tang, but I personally wouldn't put a tang in anything other than a yellow tang, which I've got one over there. Having had a regal and a vampire tang and seeing them grow to 6-7 inches and having to get rid of them, which I was gutted about. I personally wouldn't put a tang in anything smaller than an 8-foot tank. That's just my personal view on that, because then they can grow big, and I think they've then got an okay swimming. But when they was that big in a 5 foot, it just wasn't right, that I felt anyway. So it'd be an Achilles tank. So I just love the Achilles tank. You don't really see that many around. If you go to fish shop, there's not many in fish shops either of that. And I just think they're superb coloration.
Yeah.
So that would be me.
Jay?
I've always wanted a blue spot jawfish. Everything from the start, but they don't do well in aquariums, and I believe they like temperatures slightly lower than what we run aquariums at, because obviously they're slightly deeper water fish. So that's that, but they're not cheap. They're about £250 for one.
Really?
I like the face when they poke out the rock. They just look like little grumpy things, and just think. You just make me smile if I looked at it. I also like the angels, like Ross has said. The Emperor Angel looks incredible. Torch wise, I'd love a gold torch. Again, it's not so much money with mine. It's just I don't want to kill stuff, and a gold torch just doesn't do. The two things I've chosen just don't do well really in a marine aquarium, and I'm not about putting things into it. So those two things really. The
other thing I'd like to do at some point is get a seahorse tank. So at some point I will set that up, but their temperature needs to be lower. They need to be about 24 degrees, and they're not. So I've done some really they're not good in the summer because this tank over here can go to 28, 29 degrees. I just leave it. It's fine, and nothing happens to it. I couldn't do that with a seahorse tank. So it'd have to be in the right place in the house where I could put a chiller on it and the chiller going outside and then run it at a flat 24 degrees. So I just done some research. I just love them. I just think they look so peaceful. And it'd be a dedicated tank that just has seahorses in, no other fish. So that's not about money. That's kind of about room and time and where would I put it. And also I've got 3 tanks. But at some point I would go and have a seahorse tank, I think.
Yeah.
Nice.
No. For me, fish wise, I would love. Well, if I didn't have a yellow tank, I would love to have bought a gem tank. I love gem tanks. I think they're just absolutely stunning fish, all black with white spots. I just absolutely love them. I would have got one of them, but they're expensive. That is an expensive fish, to buy over here for sure. And as for coral, no, there really isn't. Yeah, there really isn't. There really isn't. I could, truly say I'd want one of them corals at this moment in time. There isn't really. You know what I mean? So, no. Other than another torch, maybe, like I said, an Australian gold. Now the Australian gold torch, they're really, really colourful, beautiful colour. Yeah. But like I said, they're a bit dodgy, to keep. Sometimes they'll do well for 2, 3, 4 months. And then the next minute, you'll come down and they'll melt it. They've gone. You know what I mean? So it's what's happened to it? And get Indonesian torches, stuff like that. Your gold Indonesian. The dragon souls and stuff like that. They just seem to live through anything. Temperatures up and down, salinity up and down slightly. They seem to be a lot hardier. You know what I mean? Than Australian. So. It would be one of them, but I'm like Ross. I couldn't justify paying 150, 250 pounds for a single head of Australian gold torch for it to maybe die within 2 or 3 months. So that's for me. That's the only problem and drawback.
Rolling the dice,
they're my two.
Rolling the dice.
Yeah. I think you're right. When you spend that kind of money, you've got to think. Well, actually, what happens if it dies? Exactly. Is it one of those we just say you just roll the punches? If you think, oh my god, I couldn't cope with that, then I wouldn't buy it. On that side. So the only thing I've really spent over 200 quid on before is chalice, because actually they're fairly easy to look after. They can deal with swings in parameters, all that kind of stuff, and so therefore they're, of all of them, I think they're more sturdy and hardy than torches. This personal view.
Yeah.
Cheers, Poetry Witch. Thank you.
Has anyone seen the 17,000 gallon tank on YouTube? I'm assuming you mean is it Sadler? Sadler.
Andrew Sadler.
Yeah. New York,
the New York guy. Yeah, the New Yorker. Yeah. I think everybody's seen him. That tank is. I think it took 5 years planning and building.
Yeah, it did.
That tank.
The house was built around it, wasn't it? And he's got a whole team that maintains it, and he spends was it $10,000 on X, and then he's got fish.
I was going to say that.
$25,000 for a really unique tank. It's just unbelievable.
Did you see? I can't remember the exact price of it. He posted up telling us how much he spends a month on. It was like phosphate remover or something, and I thought, it was ridiculous.
All in, it was $42,000 a month. Is bill. 42 a month. That's with everything. That's salinity. I mean, how big is his water tanks for his water changes on it? They must be the ones that you fill milk in, those huge ones that you get. They've got to be absolutely ginormous. Like a vat.
I don't know if you can remember, but he had actually advertised saying he was looking for somebody to actually maintain the tank and look after it, and he was offering him $100,000 a year to maintain the tank.
That's right.
Wow.
He was looking for a marine biologist, wasn't it? I remember seeing that advert, 100,000. Yeah. So God knows how much his staffing bills are per month. That's going to be 10,000 or so. He's got people that get in the tank, don't they, in their suits and clean the glass and flush away all the detritus off of the rocks and everything else. It's just absolutely
get a house next to the Red Sea or something. It's cheaper. You can just go to the bottom of your garden and dive in.
Buy a submarine, Jay. That's what you need to do.
Why would you have Why would you not just go and live next to a coral reef? It's so much cheaper.
That
Are
is
you
true.
telling me, Jay, if you had the money to do that, you wouldn't have a big tank in your house like that?
Exactly.
Well, I would never get that amount of money. How's he got that much money?
Well, you never know, mate. If you play the national lottery, everybody's got somebody's sitting there, yeah. Somebody is sitting there today, yeah, thinking, I'll never win the national lottery, and then all of a sudden their numbers come up, mate. And my dad always says to me, yeah, you've got to be in it to win it, and it only takes one number, one line of those numbers, mate. And you go, and I've said to my missus knows, I've said I'd love to build my own home, which I would do, yeah. I buy land and I build my own home, yeah. Probably down Cornwall. I love Cornwall. I love that place. So it'd probably be somewhere down there. But I've said, like, my house would be designed around my tank. There's no doubt. And she even knows about it. She said, I know it would be. And then I said, and then everything else you could deal with all the furnishings, everything, the whole decor. As long as my tank is in place where I want it, that's the main thing. You know what I mean? And she knows it. She knows that, and that's what I'd do. But
so would you have a tank? Would you have a tank room as well? So you'd have the tank, and then that would feed and everything. You got a sump room, and the sump's off the ground, and you got your frag tanks in there and all that kind of stuff.
I've already got it in my head for when I win the lottery. I've already got it in my head for when I win it. I know what I'm going to do, mate. Trust me, it's here in my head. I know what I'm going to do. I've written it down. I've actually drew it exactly on how I would design my house, or like where it would be, and specific everything. So I'd have a basement first. I'd have a big basement, huge basement, like housing all the skimmer, the whole shebang, mate, and it'll all be pumped upstairs, and I'd even do water changes on this one for sure. You know what I mean? I'd even do the water changes on it. So I'd have like big vats, like, you know, huge vats where they just pump, where you just turn one valve on, shoots the water up the pipe, and then drains it into a drain outdoor. I've got it all sorted, mate. It'll be I wouldn't have to do anything. I'd just turn a couple of knobs and that'll be it, mate. It'll be done. You know what I mean? So that's what I do.
Another thing as well that I've noticed with that Andrew Sandler is he doesn't ever seem to promote products. Like, it's not as if he's getting freebies for his tank and promoting them all the time. He seems to just, you know, obviously he's got the money, so he's not interested in that.
Yeah, he's got the money.
It seems to be, you know, you'd think that if you were a business, that's the kind of dream that you would want to promote all that, but it doesn't seem to go down that route. It seems to just be quite, like, obviously he doesn't need that support, but you know, it's quite good to see that, isn't it?
It is quite nice. You imagine if someone sponsored the salt, you need, you know, a ton of salt a month or whatever it is. That would cost a lot to do that. But you're right. I suppose if you've got that money, you haven't got to mess around, have you, with sponsorship, freebies, all that kind of stuff. You just buy what you want. You got an LFS that looks after you. You want this fish. They import this fish, 20 grand, blah, blah, blah. Fantastic.
Yeah. But he seems to be quite good at that. But I mean, even like you say, salt, it comes in a pallet. I mean, we buy a bucket of salt that lasts us 6 months to a year, whereas his salt comes in a pallet and lasts him a month.
Yeah. You know what? It's mind-boggling, isn't it? You know, like when you look at it, you're like, the cost of running. I mean, how many heaters is in that? I want to know how many heaters it takes to. It must take. You know. It's just mind-boggling when you look at it. Like, yeah, it's got to be.
It's going to have to be. You have a few titanium ones. He's not going to wash, is it? In the
exactly. Yeah, a couple of 300 watt ones. Yeah, that should do it. Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, it's insane, mate. It's just mind-boggling. Some reef tanks about, they're just like, they're blowing your mind for sure. You know what I mean? Would
you have a tank that was deep? So I was watching a video yesterday, and this guy had a tank that was, I think it was a meter, so it was just over 3 foot deep. I got to say, I don't think I could be asked with that, because you got to put your hand in. How do you get to the bottom of it? And he was using tongs, and I'm thinking, that just feels like too much hard work. I wouldn't get a deep tank. It looked nice, don't get me wrong. But that's the only problem. How do you get it out? And then use the tongs and you can't get it out, and then they fall in. It'd just be a disaster for me. It just wouldn't work.
It's like the big cylinder tanks that you see. They look really nice, but then at the same time you think to yourself, how am I ever getting to the bottom of that tank? There's no way of doing it.
Yeah.
No. This is another good question. This is another good question.
That is a good question, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Curved one that you
the new one. Yeah, it looks really
that was nice, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but how are you going to get a scraper around the end? Like, it's not going to. It won't stick to it. So you're going to have to get your hand in and clean it. It's a good idea.
Gloves, mate. You need the lambing gloves on. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Just it looked good, but not very practical. Which I suppose is a bit like a cylinder tank. How do you clean?
Yeah,
clean
exactly.
Because you can't use a.
Well, you see you get in, don't you? With like those pads and clean them. That's what you'd have to. Not getting your tank right.
You couldn't have an algae scraper. Would an algae scraper go round? It wouldn't, would it?
No, it won't go round. No,
you'd have to have a curved one, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You might end up damaging the glass because it's acrylic.
It'd be acrylic. So you wouldn't use one. Yeah.
This is another good question from Queen City Reefs. Is hitting them all out today. What are your thoughts on named brand colours? Now, we spoke about this before on past ones, and we've also spoke about, do you pay attention to that, and do you and what looks good to you? Meaning, do you pay attention to the names of it, or do you just like buy it because it looks good to you? Which I know you do, Ross, don't you? Because that's what you do. Like you just said before, £20 torch coral looks £20 torch coral. Well, looks great.
I have no interest in names of corals. I have zero interest in it, other than if I'm trying to speak to somebody about it or that. I do not care what the coral's called at all. If it looks nice and I like the look of it, and it's a colour that I like, or it's a coral that I like, I'll buy it. But this whole thing of X torch coral costing 10 times more because it's a name brand or a designer name and all this stuff, that it actually grates on me. That does. I think we should just go back to it doesn't really matter what names are. I see people arguing about names. That's not a dragon soul. That's this, and you think to yourself, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it's called. If you like the coral, buy it. That's it. I'm quite bad that way for it, to be honest. But if I like something, I'll buy it. If I don't, I won't. That's really as simple as it is.
It's all about the pinky balls, boys. It's all about the pinky balls.
Oh, Jesus.
What's that?
Here we go. There's a prime example.
Here we go.
That's what I just bought.
What's that?
That's what I've just bought earlier. Pinky balls.
Oh, you are joking. That's the one I wanted.
Oh, you're too late.
I wanted that one. Jay, you know I wanted that one. You know I wanted that one.
So I don't look at the name. I just like the coral, but
Pinky Balls. I mean, who made that name up? Pinky Balls.
Look at that, Steve.
Oh, Jay,
that does look nice.
Oh, Steve.
Jay, you need to give it me, and I'll grow it out in my tank.
You're not touching my pinky balls. There's no chance. you can keep your hands well off my pinky balls, coral.
I tell you what, Ross. Go on, Steve. Go on.
There's a T-shirt from me there, Paul, isn't there?
Pinky balls for you.
That's what I was going to say.
But also, I didn't look at the name. I just looked at the coral because after I bought it, I was like, it's called pinky balls. But it's the names. I don't know. I don't really care about the names. It's like Ross said. It's about the coral, isn't it? But you know what's annoying. And we've spoken, like I said, we spoke before, and it's like when more and more, like especially for gold torches, more and more names are coming out for them. You know what I mean? Especially the torches you fill here. I've seen it, and I'm like, what the hell's that? I've never heard of it. You know what I mean? And they, it's like that. And then you look at it, you go, that's a dragon soul, or that's like, that's an Indonesian. And they're like, no, it's not. It's this name. And I'm like, listen, I'm not arguing with you. I look at it. Looks like a dragon soul, But I don't know where these people make the names up. I think they just think, you know what, we'll just make a name up and we'll get a load of extra cash. I don't know. I really don't know, mate. You know what I mean? But but we've said it before. As long as somebody will pay it, people will keep naming them, and that's what it is, mate. You like your pinky balls.
Yeah.
I'm laughing at UK Reef Bros comment.
Where's that?
Oh dear.
This one's a cracker. This one's a cracker. You'll love pinky balls.
That's a good one.
Oh dear.
That's brilliant. I mean, I don't have a problem with the names and things like that, because it's no different to clothing and other things like that when people have designer names and all that kind of stuff. And if you choose to do that, then that's up to you, because you can stock your coral with fairly cheap corals and it looks really good. So I think it's a choice that you make. The only bit I have an issue with is when you got hobbyists selling coral for as much as what you get in the shop. And I sit there thinking, hang on a minute, that doesn't feel right, considering the LFS cost, blah blah blah. And when you look at some of the torches, there ain't much difference between hobbyist torches and the price of them, and you get an LFS. So I do think that is a bit of a liberty. But in terms of the names, I've got an issue.
On me is when people. This really annoys me. Is when people I know for a fact have got or bought a coral off of somebody for X price, and the next thing they're selling it for 2-3 times that price, and it just that grinds on me. That if somebody's good enough to give you a coral or to give you it at a cheap price, you don't go sell that for 3 times the price of it. That's just it doesn't sit right with that, and I see it more and more happening now, and just it's wrong. We need to stop that because that's what's going to put LFSs and so on. You know, it just
absolutely
it's not right.
Yeah. And especially what we've got having to deal with all the electric and stuff like that, mate. What's going on in the country? I mean, you want to turn it off, mate, not turn it down. Turn it off.
It's the 1st of April.
I think I'm going to put all mine on timers, mate, so they shut off like 2 hours early or something. I think on mine.
It's just why you were ridiculous.
In the kitchen. No. Oh yeah. Switched all the lights off. Mate, in my house. It's like Blackpool illuminations, and I'm not exaggerating yet. Every light on in the house, I am literally going to buy some of those smart plugs, you know. I'm going to buy smart plugs where they switch the lights off because they don't even want to. Oh, my kids don't want to switch lights off. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, Chloe's Reef here, guys, yeah. She's posting a YouTube video up on a seahorses, so if you're interested in seahorses, head over to her YouTube channel. She's only just started it. You know what? I can't wait to see what she does and what she uploads. It's going to be great. So yeah, head over to her YouTube channel and subscribe to her if you've not already done so. So
the seahorse tank is actually really nice as well. I think she's got them hand feeding as well, isn't she?
Yeah. She does. Yeah. Rudger's put, that's Bezos' money, £42,000 a month for the reef tank. Yeah, but have you seen the size of it and seen his sump and you see his area? $42,000. So it's about £35,000. Yeah, so.
Oh, mate, that's okay then. It's 35 rather than 42.
It sounds cheap. It sounds cheaper, mate.
It is cheaper. Yeah, I agree.
It's not so bad then. It's only 35.
Yeah, it's all in the $7,000.
Come on,
we've got some really massive coral colonies and things. Like loads of.
I think he said in his display tank. I think he's got 400 fish.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, I think he's got 400 fish. I'm sure he said 400 fish in his main display, mate. So
it looks superb.
It's incredible. In fact, I think he's got half the world's supply of yellow tangs in it. You know what I mean? That's where we all can get
one. A lot of
yellow tangs in it. Yeah, it's huge.
You know, with this hobby though, when I go to Sea Life Centre and stuff like that, or these aquariums, and they haven't got live coral, and I'm like, that's a bit disappointing now, because obviously at home we've got tanks with nice fish and nice corals. But the aquariums tend to just have fish only or whatever, don't they? Because I don't know, the corals must be too much maintenance.
It must be. When you see the corals, you think that's Aptasia. That's that. Yeah. Why that doesn't look very good. That's not a well factor. That's crap. Who's looking after this tank?
I've been to some of them before, and like you say, Paul, you look at the tank and you go, it's a tank full of Aptasia. What are you doing? But folks like, oh, look at the corals. It's so nice. And there's the anemones. And you're like, no, that's Aptasia. It shouldn't be there. What he's playing at.
Humbug.
And I used to go there and be wowed by Sea Life Centres and things like that. And now I'm hypercritical. I'm like, no, I've seen better tanks on Instagram. People in chat have better tanks than that. But yeah.
I'll tell you something. There's some stunning tanks on Instagram just now. There really is.
Oh yeah,
Some of them are incredible.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a room you would have posted for 2 weeks?
Is there a room you? Is there a room you wouldn't have a large reef tank? It has to be the bedroom for me. It would freak me out. No. I'd love it in a bedroom. I'd love a tank in it. A big
bedroom before.
I'd love one.
And I actually ended up moving it out because it was just a little bit too much noise.
Yeah, with the noise. Yeah, that's the only problem.
That's the only thing. But I would love one to look at. I mean, I don't know if you remember when tanks used to be on the TV.
I remember.
It was over the bed. Remember that went over right round, and I thought, that would be incredible.
Yeah,
But
it was
yeah,
like
you need to do what
like
you're
the
talking about, Steve, and have like the filtration everyone need to be in another room so it was quiet and you just had the
so you
tank
got no
there. I think
noise.
that'd be fine.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I was going to say. You hit the nail on the head. Would be the sound of it. You know what I mean? If you've got a big tank, you're going to have the skimmer running, and you know, I know you can get quite like really quiet pumps, but you can still hear the hum. No matter how quiet they are, there's still got a bit of a hum or two, aren't there? So, but yeah, that's the only problem. But if I could hide it, I would for sure.
Probably won't want one in a conservatory.
Yeah, the algae will be growing on it. Like, I would have
you're
thought.
okay
So.
if it's north facing, you're okay. But anything other than that, you've probably got a bit of a problem.
Well, I don't know if you remember. Remember Bravo 20 that used to come on here. His tanks were all in the conservatory, and they actually looked really, really good. So
yeah, he did.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Maybe
it depends, like you say, Paul, on direct sunlight.
Yeah, in direct sunlight, I don't know if it would. I mean, I'm just assuming. And you read that it actually does drive algae in that, but I don't know because I haven't really seen a tank in a conservatory and say, well, actually, is it okay, or is it actually a complete hospital pass?
Mm-hmm.
So Scott's just joined us. Sorry, it's all right. Sorry, I'm late. It's all right, mate. I've only been streaming for the past 50 minutes myself, so you'll be all right.
Turned up at the same time as the host did.
Yeah, don't ask, mate. But yeah, I've only been on
Scott's
it.
part of the. He's part of the Scottish crew, so he's okay. He's good.
Is he all right? Yeah, we're good. We're good with Scott. We're good.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. No, he's got a team. He's actually got a team that does it. So yeah, he's got a scuba diver who dives in to clean his glass and stuff like that. So yeah, he's got everything. Like I said, I don't think he's not going to be doing it himself for sure.
Although, do you think that if you had that amount of money, you would still want to be involved in some way?
Okay,
the crappy jobs like the skimmers and stuff like that you wouldn't want to do.
Imagine cleaning that skimmer when it's that tall. Yeah.
Oh, man. I would still want to be involved in the tank. I mean, I wouldn't like somebody in that was just taking over and you just looked at it. I think I would still want to be involved in doing the cleaning and the maintenance and so on. You would still want some kind of hand in it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, Reef KPIs, but $42,000 a month. Wow, makes me feel about my $400 a month. Exactly, mate. So you could but you could go to bed and think it's only £400, $400, as opposed to 42, mate. So
still about £300. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. Yeah.
A lot of money. That's it now. 1st of April.
Yeah, for sure. Just having a scroll down. Reef Kings bought my tanks next to my sliding doors. Tank is always green and was exactly bright light, mate. Algae. It work no matter. I mean, my where my tank is sitting. Ross has seen it, obviously. And I have my blinds, so sometimes I turn my blinds at an angle. So the sunlight can come in, and it's good. You know what? It just gives a total different dimension on your reef tank, you know what I mean? But obviously the sun's not there forever, it's not on it permanently. It might be on it for half an hour, 40 minutes or so. But it just looks totally different when the natural sunlight is on a reef tank as opposed to the LEDs that we have and stuff like that. But like you said, if it's right next to it and it's always getting light, then there's going to get some algae on it for sure. You know
Absolutely. What I mean? If you look at that, that's the door windows there. And it gets sunlight in that corner about an hour in the morning. And it's really, as you say, it's really nice how it lights it up, but it's not to create algae there. So I think it depends on, because that's north facing, so therefore you don't get the sun other than that little bit in the morning. So it's not an issue.
Yeah, Ross, that's for you.
Very good there.
Where's your Lotus? Where's your
you left him. He's departed.
I left the Scottish group chat we had for a different reason than that, but we won't go into that one.
So he left for the gravy train of YouTube and freebies.
You can't resist a freebie, mate. What can I say? It's just too good.
You can't say no.
We should call him Del Monte.
Man from Del Monte, he say yes, Paul.
Yeah.
He's throwing stones tonight as well, Paul, isn't it?
Hey.
Speaking of big
Right.
tanks, though, have you seen AM Coral's latest video?
Yeah, I did.
Have you seen
Yeah.
it?
No.
So he obviously does maintenance for other people. This other tank he does, it's massive, isn't it, Steve?
Really?
Absolutely
Yeah, it is.
huge.
Yeah.
Check out the video. AM Coral's on
AM Cuddles, yeah.
Massive tank.
Aquarius, but has anyone seen the King of DIY? You know what? I haven't. I usually watch all
I
his
haven't seen
videos.
that.
You know what? I was a bit peed off with. Well, not peed off. I was so gutted for him, Joey. And I'm not going to go into it. When he had that, he was setting it all up. When that he had his own aquarium where he was going to be, like his aquarium, public aquarium
gallery or something.
Public aquarium, and he got proper dirtied on, didn't he? You know what I mean? And I was so looking forward to what he was going to do with that, because he had his own, and you've got to go back and watch some of his videos. I think he's going through a bit of a lawsuit, with it all. He's trying to get his money back and stuff, and he spent something like $40,000 on getting it all up, a lot of his money, and for it to come to no avail. Everything's he's shut it down now. He's not even didn't even start. So I'm really gutted for him. But hopefully, he says that he's looking for another premises. But he lives in Nova Scotia, doesn't he? So he's not.
I know he's in Canada.
So it's a bit of a. He said it's pretty difficult for him to find something. But I was absolutely gutted. But I haven't seen that one. But I will look.
Yeah, I'll have a look at that. I haven't seen his videos for ages, but I've been intrigued to look at the octopus because they're fascinating creatures.
Yeah, I've seen one today. Like Aquarian said that he's got 2 octopus. And I think he's also got sharks now as well coming from what I'd seen. But
That's it.
Wow. It looked pretty cool, yeah. I haven't watched that last video, but I did see it advertised today. What's Jay laughing at?
What's he laughing at?
You can't say Aquarian.
Aquarian.
Ian.
Aquarian.
Aquarian.
It sounds like you're being offensive to him.
Because I said Aquarian the last time, that was it.
Aquarian.
Right, Aquarian, you're going to need to change your name because I can't say it.
And thank you for Jay for pointing that out.
It just makes me laugh. Bless you.
Yeah, so
you got to see it. When you do it fast, it just doesn't sound good.
Aquarian. At least it made them laugh.
It doesn't take much to make me laugh.
So Scott's put, has any of you dosed vodka to your tanks? I do, 5 ml per day, clearest water ever. Try it. You know what? I've never. You know what? It's probably one of the cheapest ways of reducing your nutrients and all that. If you, when you look at it, it probably is over pound for pound. Yeah. I mean, what is it like? So a liter of certain things, 20 odd pound, 23 quid. I think of that. What's it called? The aquaforest stuff. You know what I mean? So
you got I think it's as well and stuff like that.
Yeah, you got
carbon dosing, isn't it? Yeah. So
carbon, yeah. So dosing. I think if you got a cheap vodka, you could get a litre of cheap vodka for what? 12 quid, 13 quid. So yeah, I've never done it. I've never dosed it. In fact, I've probably been a bit too scared to dose it actually in case what happens. So that's probably why I've not done it in the past. But no, I'd take your word, mate. If it makes it clear as water ever, yeah.
What about the fish? Are they starting to just
they're all smashed. They're all smashed under the. They're all smashed under the rocks. Yeah, like that. Swaying from side to side like that.
The clowns.
It's like you're swimming into the glass.
Yeah, like
I'll be fighting there. That's what it'll be.
What's up with the fish? Is upside down, huh? Yeah, it's what we call legless.
It's like me on my way home from the pub. It's like it takes 5 times longer to get anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. So it acts like a carbon. Yeah, that's exactly what it does, Rudra. It's just a carbon dose, yeah. Exactly the same as like Paul said, no pox or the nitrophos or the one from Reef Elements. Is it nitrophos? That's Reef Element nitrophos in it, I believe, as well. So
there's
quite a few on the market, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a few. Yeah, there's a few. Yeah. John's put.
Jay, what are you drinking, mate?
What? Oh, you asking me then?
I thought
you see what you're drinking there.
It's just my little flask. It's my little work flask. It's got Yorkshire.
I thought it was a
in
can of beer or something. I was trying to figure out what it was because it didn't look like your usual drink.
My little thermos flask.
I thought his internet stopped and he paused then for a moment. I thought he froze. Like,
Yeah.
You're all right, Jay. You're all right, Jay.
I've turned the heating off because it was the price of electricity bill. So now I've got my tea in the thermos.
And he's wooden socks on.
It's got Yorkshire tea in there, Ross. That's what it is.
Nice. That's fine.
Always. But yeah.
I'll let you off then.
Thanks, mate.
Vodka might increase pH too. Well, if ever you can increase pH, that's a win-win in my eyes for sure. Just going also just having a look to see. Steve, what's considered the ball? Yes, Steve.
Don't read it out, Ross, please.
What's your 1 minute, Ross?
There we go. That's what we're on.
Aberlour.
Yeah.
12-year-old. Nice.
Aberlour.
So you know when it says double cast matured, what does that actually mean? Is it like double cast?
So
it's
been in a sherry cask and another cask. I'm not quite sure what it'll be, but it's been in 2 different casks. So it might have spent 6 years in one and 6 years in another, or it might have spent, a different ratio with that.
And
but I always thought if it got air to it, that it's like the whole idea of making a good like whiskey is like to have it airtight, so it's just like completely airtight. So if it's in a cask, and you've got to move it into another. So it's add air, oxygen, so air to it after 6 years, hasn't it? So would it be strong or would it be or what? I don't know.
What happens with that, mate, when it sits in the cask is it actually evaporates from the cask. So you get what's called the angel share, which evaporates from it. So when you fill that cask with whiskey, at the start of the cask completely full, so it'll be around about 190 litres, depending on the size of the cask. Then over time, the longer that sits there, the less volume will be in it. So that's why your price goes up, because if you've got a cask that sat there for 20 years, for example, 21 years, you might only have a quarter of this cask left, or even a third. Or if you've had a cask that sat there for a long time, you can only have maybe one bottle left in that cask because it evaporates.
Wow.
So right. Wow, I never knew that.
Angel share. Yeah, so that's basically it. But when we fill these, I say when companies fill them, they're not that colour. They go in absolutely crystal clear. Yeah. And it's the cask itself that gives it the colour and the flavour, and that's what does it. It's the cask. So when it's been double cask matured, it means it's been in one cask, then moved to a second cask again for a different flavour. So this one's been in sherry oak casks, so I'm not quite sure. So it started off in American oak casks, then it moved to a sherry oak cask. So you're getting the hint of the sherry from that through the cask as well. So there's a whole different. I could speak for hours about it, but yeah, that's the long and short.
I never knew it evaporated.
So when it evaporates, does the alcohol content go up, or does that evaporate with the rest of it? A bit like a reef tank, where your salinity goes up and evaporates.
Yeah.
I don't actually know the answer to that one, mate. I've never really thought about that one. I think the alcohol evaporates that as well.
Yeah. I've got no idea. I thought, imagine if it goes to that much, how much alcohol would be in it if that was the case.
No, so it does. But one thing that's really interesting is if you ever go to any of the distilleries up in Scotland or anywhere for that example, you'll see that all the buildings, the trees and everything round about it are all black. And that is the actual evaporated angel share, if you want to call it that evaporates from it and then settles on all the trees, the buildings and so on, and it makes it black. So, I mean, even my works fan, because I'm in distilleries all the time, the roof of it's black because that settles on the roof and it can't, and that's the inside of the cask, the little burnt bits of the cask. Yeah. It's quite interesting to see. So all the trees are completely black and so on. And yeah, it's one of those things that not a lot of people know, that a cask doesn't stay full for its full duration. It evaporates quite a lot.
I never knew that. So assuming that'll probably be. Yeah, no, I'm assuming that would be for all spirits then, wouldn't it? So that would be like, say, for brandies and everything, I would assume. You know what I mean? I think it'd be the same.
Yeah, I only work with whiskey, mate, so I'm not really sure about the brandies and that. But I would imagine that because they're stored in casks as well, so like sherry and so on, stored in casks. Now, I don't know how long they store sherry for or anything like that. I'm not entirely sure. Same with wine. I don't really know how long they store them for. I'm not really know about the whiskey side of things, but whiskey's obviously stored for a long time, and all the whiskey usually goes into second casks, so they've been used before for something else, and that's what gives them the flavour.
Yeah. So if you live next door to a distillery, then you've got a good chance of your house being black.
Yeah. So one of the distilleries that I work in, actually, they built a new housing estate right next to the distillery, and all the residents actually put a lawsuit in and kind of claimed against the distillery for the houses being black. And they said, well, you bought a house next to a distillery, you're bound to know that that's the case.
And it was there before.
So I'm not quite sure how that went down, the legal side of things, but yeah, basically, if you buy a house next to the distillery, it will end up black.
That's something to know, because I've never thought about that.
That.
Yeah, there we go. There's your top
or
tip.
even not necessarily a distillery, but even a bonded warehouse where they store all the casks, because obviously you can be storing casks for 20 odd years. So they've got all these massive warehouses all over the country that store the casks of whiskey, and that's especially where you'll get black round about it. But yeah, you'll see the trees, the buildings, and everything are all completely black. So we've went from reefing to black trees.
Yeah, and now we're going to kitchen appliances in Steve, because the camera's actually done a close up on his kitchen.
We're going to see Steve making a toasty now. I think that's where we're going with this one.
And Jay's looking at.
I'm just checking that this is not an April Fool.
No, it's not, mate. That's the honest truth. Google the angel share and you'll see it.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. It holds up.
Right then. Let's see. John Wright's put is pH at 800,000. Well, you spit to eye, mate. 800,000.
Like 800,000.
Your cuddles. Your SPS must be growing out of the tank.
Like trees.
Yeah, I think you mean 8. Is it 8 pH? Maybe, yeah.
A few more zeros. 800,000.
I think he's on the whiskey and he pressed the 0 too many times. Maybe.
Nice. He's had a few too many cans tonight. I think John has that problem, is there?
Yeah. Oh,
in fact, it was, because if you look at the comment down the bottom, he said, I dose RODI to my vodka tank. So yeah, I think he's had a few vodkas tonight.
Yeah, that's the problem with it. That's the problem. Hey.
Friday night, it's definitely a night for drinking.
Hey, fair play to you. Nice to see you, Steve. That's this. We won't get Ross to pronounce his name. No. Nice to see Steve's kitchen appliance shopping channel.
Right.
Hey, mate,
come on then. Let's try this. Let's all four of us do it. So go on, Steve. How would you pronounce that?
Aquarian.
Yeah.
Paul.
Aquarian.
Jay.
Aquarian.
He was so conscientious about that, so he didn't get it wrong.
No, he wasn't.
Aquarian.
Yeah.
Aquarian.
We've managed it, I think.
Yeah, we'll get there.
The full house.
Steve's shopping channel.
What's this? Well, what's with that camera, Steve? That would freak me out. What camera?
Yeah, Steve, when you step away, when you move away from the camera, it's zoomed in on your toasty machine.
It does, yeah.
Oh,
look, it's done it again. It's zoomed in on you.
It does auto zoom.
It follows him around.
Oh yeah, it follows me around.
It follows me around.
Here we go. We've got a kitchen appliance tour.
Yeah, these are all my ninjas. So this is my beer appliance, yeah, for the summer.
Nice.
For the summer months, yeah. This is my Ninja. Does me blend it. Does all my smoothies and stuff like that, yeah. Oh, I'm not sponsored by him, but there's all my pre-workouts for the gym. Yeah, there. And these are all my pre-workouts. Yeah. No. And then we have the Monster Gold Wave. That's all we have there. All protein powder. Yeah. So, and you've got to mention. I got over me dozen eggs. Well, 15 eggs. They last me about 3 days or so. So yeah, that's about it, mate. So that's all that's over there. So I've not got a camera. Oh, she's talking about the camera on top of the tank, on top of this, isn't it? Yeah, it focuses. It's got an auto focus. That's all. I don't know how to switch off, but I mean, come on, guys. I can only just about switch the computer on, so I'm not even going to mess with that camera. Yeah, but that's what it is. That's what it is.
Oh dear.
It's following you. Yeah, because if I move here now, yeah. Or if I move here.
No.
Steve, we're going to I need to ask this question, mate. Where's Sally and how is she doing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's all right, mate. She's over in the corner. Yeah. She's over in the corner.
Is she still going? Is she still strong?
Oh, my God.
Hey,
here we go.
Yeah, she's still strong, mate. Yeah, here she is.
You got a new cover.
There she is. She's back.
She's all right, mate. She's doing well. She's she's all right, mate.
She's looking a bit grey. Looking a bit grey.
Brilliant.
She's looking a bit thin, mate. She's looking a bit thin. I'm gonna have to fatten her up a little bit.
You're gonna have to fatten her up a bit, mate. That's unacceptable.
I'll have to fatten her up. Yeah.
Get her on the protein.
Yeah, I think she's been taking my protein shakes, mate. That's what she's on. Whey protein.
Brilliant.
But John Wright, thank you all. You make my Friday nights. Hey, John, anytime, mate. You know where we are every Friday. Unless it's me, I'll join you 50 minutes later or something like that. But we don't. All the other guys, they're all sound. So
even Jay was on time today. Impressed.
Yeah, Jay was on time. Yeah, he wasn't putting his shopping away. You know what I mean? That's he's been buying shopping. Cuddles. What's all this about? Yeah.
And he's not. He wasn't even eating his dinner tonight. You know, we've had Jay eating his dinner. We've had him putting the shopping away. But nothing.
I've done many things on this live stream. I can tell you that.
You have, mate.
Even talked about corals from
Most of
time
them have
to
been
time.
embarrassing, but never mind.
Manic P. You guys dosing cow crosser? No, I don't. I've never dosed cow crosser. I know a lot of the Americans they dose the cow crosser, don't they, and stuff like that. But I've never really looked into it. And I mean, I know a lot of people can put they put it in their auto top off containers. I know two guys who do that. But I know that you can put, but the right way is to put it in a couch stirrer in it, so it's the sediments don't settle and stuff like that. And I have looked into it, but you know what? I've not. I mean, it's a cheaper way of putting alkalinity and stuff like that into your tank in it. So you know what I mean. But I haven't done it. What about you guys? Anyone tried it?
No, I haven't. I looked into it a little bit, and I was just a bit concerned about you get the benefits for pH. It is a cheap way of dosing alkalinity. I just didn't feel the need to do it. I was just dosing. My pH was okay, that kind of thing. I would like to try it one day, but I just don't feel the need. And whilst it is cheaper to actually get a calc stirrer, they're not cheap. To get
those calc stirrers
can easily be £300-400 for like a Deltec one.
I was blown away.
Not cheap at all, are they?
Yeah, I was blown away on how much I seen those. Like I said, it was the Deltec one, couch stirrer, and I think it was like £349, and I was like, holy, just to stir it, like it only stirs it, doesn't it? It keeps it from itself. I'm like, no, I'm not paying that for that, no chance. You know what I mean? And I'm assuming you'd have to get a pump to put on it as well, wouldn't you? As well, you know what I mean? So you'd have to pay extra for a pump to be pumped. It. Oh no. So, I can understand why people put it in Arrow.
It's really good to see UK Reefer here because he's been in the chat quite a few times and he actually put a thing up on his story not long ago about how to raise pH and everything. It's worth going and having a look at his Instagram page. And he's got a bit in his story on how he raised his pH and so on over quite a long time. So I think he's put it in the highlights of his story. It's quite worth having a look at that anyway.
His tank's
so Chloe's put, who wants to see the Pico challenge between me and AAC? Hey, absolutely.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that would be good for sure. And like you said, the more, the merrier for the Pico challenge. But I've got to admit, I'm gonna do a latest update on my Pico. My Pico it's turned the corner, mate, and it's turned a good corner. So very happy with the way it's looking now. Very happy.
Nice.
Really happy with the way it's looking.
So, I was a bit worried for a while, thinking the Pico was gone, but
I was worried myself. Believe me, I was like on the verge of getting the hammer, doing a Ross. You know what I mean? I was ready to do a Ross and smash it up. But we come to our senses, and you know what? Fair play to Pico Tank, the guy, you know, the owner and all that. He said to me, "I'll send you. Don't worry, Steve. Don't worry, Steve. I'll send you another one out." I'm like, "No, you don't understand. This might be the end, mate. I don't want another one. I appreciate it. I don't want to do another one. No chance. But fingers crossed. Touch wood, and I am touching wood. It's all going good and it's all going great. So, but definitely, Chloe, get onto it.
To be really popular, haven't they?
Absolutely. And don't you think like more and more little like things are coming out for them? I know what's he called? What's he called?
Yeah, so Aquaprints post the other day.
Yeah, he's doing like all little different things, and you know what? They're fantastic because they do what they say on the tin, don't they? They do the job. You know what I mean? And It's great. I do like it now. I'm beginning to fall back in love with it. You know what I mean? Until it leaks again, which I'm not going to jinx myself, but we never know. You know what I mean? And then I hate it again. So it's a love-hate relationship.
It certainly is. Yeah.
Never thought I'd say that over a 3-litre tank or a 2-litre tank, but yeah, it's a love-hate relationship. AM Colours put Red Sea all the way for us, foundation and colours. I used to run all the Red Sea products on it, and I'm not going to slag it. They did the job, and you know, there was no problem. Never had any problems with them. But and then I switched over to the Aquaforest, and yeah, I've never looked back really on the Aquaforest stuff. But yeah, Red Sea, good. They have got some good stuff. Red Sea for sure. You know what I mean?
I agree. I've been using the foundation on this tank since day one. On a dose, and I found them really good. I used to dose the colours, but not so much recently. I used no-pox, as you know, no-pox since day one here. So, and I got all the Red Sea ones because when I bought the tank, loads of stuff came with it. That's what I bought. So then it used, and I just carried on from there. So I would recommend, if you're using a lot of the foundation, I'd go powder because the powder is a lot cheaper than the liquid.
Absolutely,
it lasts a lot longer. So yeah, I'd go the liquid one, unless you've got a small tank. I think is quite expensive. But certainly the powder, I think, is decent value for money. You can get cheaper. You can get other things that are cheaper, don't get me wrong. But I like the Red Sea stuff, I've got to say.
Or if you've got a smaller tank.
As well.
Yeah. Or if you've got a smaller tank, John's right. All for Reef. Brilliant product. Tropic about it. Brilliant products.
I use that on the small tank. On the 170, I use that. And if they're out of sync a little bit, I'll top it up with the Red Sea elements.
Yeah.
But I only dose about 5 ml a day, and it's fine and dandy. It works well.
Ailey's leaning more towards a CO2 scrubber on the skimmer. Yeah, you know what, Ailey? I run a CO2 scrubber on mine, plumbed into my skimmer, and it does raise the pH. Definitely. I mean, going on to pH, that pH checker, the Hanna checker, I test every day. I've been testing every day for the past 2 weeks on that. And you'll be if you've seen the results, you'll be blown away. Literally 8.3 and 8.4 on the pH all the time. So that's where we come back to the point what Rossa says, exactly to the point where Rossa says about the pH probes. I just don't believe in them at all. You know what I mean? On one of them, it was saying I had 7.8, and I'm like, what? 7.8? This is like midday. I'm like, this can't be right. Tested it, and it was like 8.4 on the pH, and I tested it 3 times after each other. Came back with the same reading: 8.4, 8.4, 8.4. So yeah, I go off that for sure.
Yeah. And I think also a CO2 scrub was pretty good. I think Julie set one up fairly recently, and she noticed that her pH went up. I've bought a CO2 scrub. I just haven't set it up yet, which is no surprise for me. I've got to put it together. You know, like for putting things together.
Put it behind you, mate. Yeah, where the clarity was, and we'll remind you every week if you want. You know what I mean?
You've got a plant there or something now, Paul. Is it flowers or a plant or something you've got there, mate?
I don't know where that's coming from. That's where the pico's supposed to go, but the pico's still the pico's just a pico. It's one step ahead of Jay's. It's got rock in it.
Is it still not wet yet, mate?
Well, no.
Yeah.
I haven't got around to doing it.
Mine, I need to make a video about aquascaping mine, so mine's delayed at the moment.
Mine's aquascaped, but just
aquascape. Let's go with a rock.
Wait a minute, Jay's got to make a video, so we're going to be waiting another 6 months for that one. Then.
I like to document everything that I'm doing, you see, and then sometimes I have to wait to do the bit that I need to do. That's what it is.
Michael's put Jay's can't wait for next week when Jay's not here. Once he tells his missus no shopping money, spent it all on the coddle. Yeah, exactly. and especially when he tells her the name of the coddle. Remember that one, mate? I do when he tells her the name of the coddle.
Where have you no money, Jay? Well, I spent it on pink balls.
Red balls, I'll have.
You what? Is it snooker?
Yeah. Aquarians try to get me in trouble, get the missus to stir your car across the state. Hey, mate, yeah. I know what she'll exactly say about that, mate. Trust me, it's not going to be a pleasant.
Not a good outcome, eh, Steve?
For sure. Yeah, it won't be a good outcome, no, not for me, for sure. UK Reef, hey, Chloe, you good? Michael Butler, he'll be at the food bank next week. That's you, Jay.
To be fair, it's quite pricey, but I like it, and if I like it, I've got to get it.
But you know what, though? You're finding less, like, when you see a Gonioporo, you see all the regulars, the reds, the pinks, but it's to find a special one, so like a glitter gonny or something like that, they're so hard to come by, mate. You know what I mean? They're really, really hard to get. And if you get an opportunity to buy one, you must buy it. You've got to buy it because you just don't know when you're going to get something like that, an opportunity. Like, you'll see something like that again. You know what I mean? So you've got to, mate. You've got to.
Absolutely.
I always buy one like nice thing each month just to treat myself. That's my treat this month.
You're good to yourself, Jay.
He is.
Hey,
you've got a brand new tank coming to you with all the bits. What are you on about?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
You've jinxed it. You've absolutely jinxed it, Jay.
Yeah.
What's that?
You've jinxed it. You've jinxed the new tank. It's going to look as good as the old one.
Well, I hope not.
Or they'll deliver the cabinet, but not the display.
That'll be next.
Yeah,
so Scott's put, well, look, it's not the corner that isn't covered in glue. Hey, mate, I scraped all that off. So that wasn't glue. That was, what was it?
Silicone,
the silicone, that didn't.
That was brilliant.
Anybody who thinks of putting silicone on an acrylic stroke plastic tank, it just doesn't work. Yeah, it's not going to work.
No.
So, it's...
You couldn't see the tank through the silicone, could you?
Yeah, learn by my mistakes and don't do it for sure. I'll give what he's put out. Thanks, guys. It's fun time. Let's see. Quickly, just going down before John Haley. I'm a beginner, so still learning. Exactly. Chris has put good chat. Apologies for being quiet tonight. Just listening and setting up a new tank. Hope it's going well, mate. Fingers crossed. Yeah, let us know how it comes along next week. And AM Coils put, we've got a couple of frags coming, just awaiting delivery. So glitter gone it. Hey, I'll be having a look at them, mate, for sure. And the final couple. Let's see. Oh God, Julie. Way up. Oh, the dog showing time. Quick one. Hi Ross, how's your weeds? I don't know what it means by that, but I hope you're being legit, mate. I hope you're not growing weed in your garden or anything like that, mate.
That's it, mate. We're growing strong, shall we?
What are you doing? There's no police watching this. They'll be down your house in a minute.
Right then, guys. You know what? As Julie says, time up. I've not even asked already whose channel it's going to be on next week. Jay might not be here if his missus sees it
next week.
Ross's channel next week.
We'll go with me next week.
Yep, Ross's channel. Splendid. So yeah, I'm just plugging this in before it actually runs out. I'm not my battery's going to die on my laptop. Mate, battery's going to die. Oh no. Plugged it in, have I? Yeah, it said.
This could be an abrupt end here.
Hey! No!
Oh, the lights are on now as well.
Is he going to get it? Is he going to get it in time?
Oh, Steve,
yes.
You're a brilliant host.
We're on, mate. We're on. Yes, let's. So yeah. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for joining us. And apologies. Sorry, you know what I'm like with technology. Sorry that I've joined you 40 minutes late, but yeah, all the guys held the fort for the time being. So I appreciate it, lads. So yeah, all have a good weekend, and we'll see you on Ross's channel next week. So see you soon. Take care, guys.
Thanks, guys. Cheers for joining.